Welcome back to Ben's Book Club. Today we are diving into the book, The Psychology of Everyday Life by Adrian Holt. Seriously, if you've ever wondered why you make, well, kind of bizarre choices, or why you just can't kick that one annoying habit, or, oh man, this is a big one, why a single weird comment can ruin your entire day, well, you're in the right place. This explainer is absolutely going to change how you look at your own mind.
You think you're in control. You're not. Right off the bat, we're shattering this illusion that you are the logical, rational CEO of your own actions. Holt points out that our brains, they aren't these sleek supercomputers making perfectly calculated choices. Actually, they're running on really ancient, kind of glitchy hardware, just trying to navigate this incredibly complex 21st century world. We are basically packed full of mental shortcuts that operate entirely in the background.
To make sense of all this, we're going to synthesize Holt's 100 psychology facts into 5 distinct pillars to help you navigate the chaos of the human mind. So, we're covering the myth of rationality, wired for cognitive glitches, your life on autopilot, the invisible social hand, and finally, taking back your brain.
Let's jump into pillar number 1, the myth of rationality, shattering the illusion.
We all like to think logic drives our choices, but honestly, that's just an illusion. Take ego depletion, for example. This is this crazy phenomenon where your willpower basically acts as a finite resource, and it literally drains over time, leading to worse and worse decisions. It's exactly like a battery. Every choice you make drains it just a little bit more. A perfect and honestly kind of terrifying example from the book is how actual judges hand out noticeably harsher sentences right before lunch. Why? Simply because they are hungry and tired. Their physical state quietly hijacks their logical judgment. So the crucial takeaway here is that your brain is just prioritizing saving energy over making the fair, rational choice.
All right, moving on to Section 2, Wired for Cognitive Glitches, the Hardware Errors.
So we have these systematic hardware errors in our brains known as cognitive biases, and they secretly steer your decisions every single day. Let's do a rapid fire through some of the big ones. First up, confirmation bias. This dictates our news consumption and is exactly why people get trapped in those online echo chambers. We really only want information that agrees with us. Then there's anchoring. That first price tag you see, it disproportionately shapes what you think is a fair deal. Next is loss aversion. Get this, losing $50 feels twice as painful as gaining $50 feels good. This is exactly why we hold on to bad jobs or toxic relationships. We fear the loss way more than we value the potential gain. And finally, the IKEA effect. You know why you stubbornly keep that ugly DIY furniture in your living room? Because you built it yourself. You overvalue it simply because of your own invested effort.
And it actually gets a bit more frustrating. 5 to 1. This is known as the Gottman ratio, and it essentially proves our hardware is inherently biased toward misery. Because of how we naturally process threats, it requires 5 positive interactions to fix the memory of just one negative comment. That is exactly why you can receive 100 amazing compliments online, but that one troll who insults your shirt, it completely ruins your entire day.
Okay, Section 3, your life on autopilot, the habit loop. Moving past our daily decisions, we really have to look at the unsettling reality of how much of your life isn't actually consciously chosen at all. This number should absolutely give you pause. 40%. Roughly 40 to 45% of your daily behavior is purely habitual, meaning your brain is completely on autopilot for almost half your day. You aren't actively deciding how to tie your shoes, how to drive your usual route to work, or even how you react to stress. Your brain is literally just running a pre-recorded script.
So how do we rewrite those scripts? Well, first things first, we have to get the timeline right and debunk that massive pop psychology myth that it takes 21 days to form a habit. The reality, it actually takes an average of 66 days for a new behavior to become automatic. And honestly, this perfectly explains why most of us abandon our New Year's resolutions right when that boring middle begins in late January. We're just giving up before the neurological groove has actually been carved.
And that groove is carved through 3 specific steps. Step 1 is the cue, Step 2 is the routine, and Step 3 is the reward. This cycle shows exactly how habits bypass your willpower entirely. They drive automatic behaviors, like, say, stress eating the second your phone buzzes with a work notification. The buzz is the cue, the snacking is the routine, and the distraction from your stress is the reward. If you want to change a habit, you can't just try harder. Nope, you have to surgically alter one of these 3 steps.
Let's look at Section 4, the invisible social hand, where other people mess with your mind.
As if managing your own brain wasn't enough work, right? Other people actively mess with your mind too. We are naturally second-minded, meaning we're constantly editing our own reality just to avoid social friction. Conformity pressure is this crazy act of denying obvious visual evidence or reality just to fit in with a group. This was famously proven by Solomon Asch's line experiments, where people would knowingly give the wrong answer to a super simple visual test just because the rest of the room did. We are so heavily influenced by social proof. Whether it's laughing at bad jokes because the crowd is laughing, standing in a queue just because other people are, or falling victim to the bystander effect, where you don't help someone in an emergency because you just assume someone else in the crowd is going to do it.
This brings us to a really incredible real-world example from the book, the missing wallet study. Interestingly, studies show that people are significantly more likely to return a lost wallet if it contains a picture of a child. It totally proves how tiny social cues trigger our honesty. That single little image flips a switch in our brain, reminding us of our social responsibility. It's completely invisible, but it dictates our behavior in a huge way.
Finally, Section 5, Taking Back Your Brain, Environment over Willpower.
So you cannot rewrite this ancient hardware, but you can absolutely outsmart it by designing better environments and honestly just recognizing your own ridiculousness. First, watch out for the spotlight effect. You are constantly overestimating who notices you. Trust me, no one is looking at your bad haircut. They are way too busy worrying about their own. Next is the fundamental attribution error. This is where you excuse your own flaws as just bad luck, while blaming other people's flaws on their bad character. And finally, the planning fallacy. We are constantly underestimating how long tasks are going to take, even when we have past experience proving otherwise. It is incredibly humbling to realize just how much of your personality is really just a self-serving story you tell yourself to navigate these perceptive quirks.
Now hey, if you zoned out at any point during this explainer, don't worry about it. Human minds naturally wander about 30% of the time. It's literally just part of our operating system. And as an added bonus, Holt notes that being quick with sarcasm actually proves you have a healthy, high-functioning brain. So if you're a sarcastic daydreamer, you are doing just fine.
Which brings us to a crucial question. Which mental glitch will you catch today? I challenge you to spot just one bias or habit loop this week. Just observe your invisible architecture in real time. And hey, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss an episode.